Hi, this is Raina with LB Video here in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Here's a video from one of our clients, and it's just a sample of the type of work we can do.
The Rural-Urban Exchange is a movement of individuals who yearn for complex, full, authentic representation of one another. Through exchange, we actively commit to addressing the challenges affecting our most distant neighbors as if they live next door to ourselves. Our first inaugural cohort of Minnesota Rucks is comprised of Minnesotans with varied experience of leadership, career, geography, age, ability, expertise, gender, race, sexuality, culture, and class. They are leaders in the arts, agriculture, community development, education, government, health, and business.
We all live in the same state, but we have very different experiences. We have very different ways that we live our lives, and the different people that we interact with, and to interact with other people from across the state really gives you kind of an insight into all the people that they experience too.
The Rural-Urban Exchange brings us to one another's places to better understand who we are, what we love, what we fear, and what we need from one another. Each gathering is curated as a long weekend retreat and is hosted in various rural and urban communities across the state. The weekend retreats are designed with local partners to include an itinerary that uplifts the hidden treasures in their community and reveals the challenges and complexities of their place.
I was part of the host committee for the St. Paul Intensive. It was fun to kind of show off my city, and particularly Frogtown and Rondo.
I was surprised to find out I had so much in common with people living in St. Paul. Like, that's not my stomping grounds, but it was surprising, and I was happy to learn that. Like, we had more in common than I knew.
The cohort is selected through an application process and by committing to 2 years of 4 weekend exchanges. Participants share conversations that challenge their identities, but also help them discover commonalities with those they consider to be opposing. By inviting members to share their stories with one another, we reveal and emphasize connections across divides, which develops intercultural competence.
I think the favorite and the most impactful thing that's happened to me on this trip was staying up late on Friday night and talking to my roommate, Connie. We probably talked for over 2 hours about our work and our lives and who we are as people and our goals and how we want to move forward. And that really changed my trajectory and helped me a lot.
The Abundant Futures sort of conversations have been always so rich. There's just a slower pace, and that's something I yearn for, and having that more intimate experience feels like a really big blessing.
We emphasize arts and culture as key strategies for our leadership development program because we believe that true leadership is a process of deepening connections to others, and that vulnerability is the currency of connection. For our second gathering of the Rural-Urban Exchange, we gathered in Mahnomen and on the White Earth Nation. We picked up where we left off in St. Paul, sharing our individual and collective experiences as Minnesotans, while exploring the community, people, and place of Northwest Minnesota.
I feel really honored for people to be here in our community and to be chosen to host. I hope that, the cohort members and the steering committee take away a bigger and better understanding of what it means to be, a Native American in Minnesota, understanding our relationship to the land and that connection.
When I thought about Rucks coming to White Earth and being, part of, hosting in my community for Rucks, my mind kept going back to, I hope we have time to sit on the ground and just be here, with the trees and the lake and spend some time. One of my favorite words is mushkaki, which in Ojibwe is a combination of strength and earth, and it's like the idea of, the strength of the earth coming up into us, and it's through the ground, it's through plants that we eat, it's through eating, animals that we harvest. And I'm just like, this is where I feel most connected to the strength of the earth, and where I feel healthiest, and where I feel like I'm my most authentic self.
It's been great, and to learn from a community that I probably wouldn't have access to otherwise. And I think that being out here, there's just a connection to nature that is really different than it is in the city.
A place like this is just so beautiful, and it really does help to open up parts of your soul too, and open you to new experiences in a way that I've never felt before. And it's not just the openness of the sky seems bigger out here, but it opens up your mind too, into the experiences and the people, and just a new way of thinking.
We gathered in the only county that lies fully within the boundaries of a reservation, learning from tribal members through craft, workshop, and hands-on engagement, wild ricing, quill earring making, woodland pottery, and more. We heard stories of community and resilience, the history of wrongdoings, the rights of nature, the community's cultural heritage, and the action and hope that sustain community health and healing.
I grew up about an hour away from here, but it was a harsh reminder of how much we don't know about our own neighborhoods, our own lands, our own friends. And it was really nice for me to have the opportunity to see it as someone who grew up here, but from the perspective of somebody else who grew up here, and just what we're not taught and what we don't know, we don't know.
I think that there are things that I've learned, particularly learning yesterday about the Nadowash community and just kind of how they live with each other, how they engage with each other, how they rely on each other, learning about how complicated structures can be when you overlay traditional history with federal histories.
People are asking a lot of questions and realizing how little they know about Native culture and the federal policies around what Natives have to deal with on a daily basis, and I think that's something that they're connecting with.
Our future relies on leaders who value the diverse people, cultures, and regions of our state, can build support across these diversities, and can collaborate to leverage these resources to achieve statewide prosperity. By building our programs to help members deeply connect with people and places, we're building pathways to more engaged, meaningful interactions across difference.
And together we weave the net of remembrance.